If you are joining us on TikTok, hi, my name is Jennifer Carr. This is my new friend, Jessica Foster. We're both authors, and we are just hanging out as part of a live session that I'm doing with the Connected Conversations for Creatives podcast. Now, if you are on TikTok, you're seeing my screen from behind me, and so I can't see you comment. So if you want to leave comments or interact with us, I'd encourage you to go over to YouTube and find me at J Carr Writes and follow along on that live, because that's where most of the comments and interaction will be until we get up to 10,000 followers, and then we can go live on TikTok and stream that way through the broadcasting platform. So, make sure that you follow my account so that we can stream directly to you on TikTok. And who knows what alerts and notifications you're going to see. That was my kid getting reminded to go take a shower because she's 14 and I have to remind her to go take a shower.
I think that's fair.
I'm like, I have it in my phone because then I can say, hey, it's going on in your phone. So anyway, this is not the first time that you and I have hung out. And I was so excited that we get to hang out again because since we hung out last, I read your book.
Wow, you did? Okay.
Yes.
You sent me a comment and I was like, I think she's reading it, but I just don't want to assume.
I did. I read it. I had finished it and I sat there and reflected on that book, and I was just like, I have so many thoughts about what could happen next, and I'm going to have to make sure that I ask that question. But
when I can.
I'm here for it. I am here for the inside scoop. But before we do that, go ahead and let's just kind of do a quick introduction of who you are, because, if you're following my accounts and channels, you know who I am. So let's get to know Jessica real quick. Tell us about you.
My name is Jessica Kate Foster, and this is my book. It's called Auntie and the Extroverts. It is a young adult contemporary novel with a heavy dose of sarcasm, friendship, romance, all of the shenanigans that come with summer camp. And I'm also set to release the sequel this coming summer, so I'm pretty excited about that. And it's my first sort of journey with traditional publishing, and I'm really excited that I can do this here today. I actually just got out of surgery on Friday, so I've been kind of at home, and I'm like, oh, well, what better than like a live or a podcast, because I don't have to travel at all, and that's great because I'm on some really awesome meds right now.
So we might really get the inside scoop about things we don't even ask about.
You might.
That's fantastic. Okay, what else do we need to know?
I live in Michigan. I have kids. They are elementary school age, 2 boys, an amazing husband, rescue animals. I'm an English teacher for 8th grade, so it's kind of my life.
Nice. How's the weather in Michigan right now?
Really good,
Yeah.
actually. It is fantastic, and if I were not post-surgery, I would have gone for a hike today, so...
It's been really like crazy weather. We had good old winter weather show up just a few weeks ago, and now we're back into like springtime weather, and it was like 70 degrees today, but there was a breeze and it was sunny, and I thought, man, this is good. Like, this is how I want it to be every day. Yeah.
We definitely had snow on Halloween, like inches of snow on Halloween, and then it just completely disappeared. So that's Michigan.
That's wild. We had several friends from Michigan when I was growing up. We called them snowbirds because they were, in the 70-year-old age bracket, and they would come down for the winter because we lived in Gulf Shores, so we were at the beach, and so they'd come down for the winter and then join us for all that season. I'm so sorry, my dogs are barking like crazy for some reason.
That's okay, you might hear mine at some point here too.
Okay. I'm like, and of course they're right outside my wall, and I'm just like, hey guys, let's chill. Okay. So Michigan, yes, we have friends from Michigan. So that's really, so I know about the crazy weather because they would come down and they'd be like, yeah, it snows over our front door. And I'm going, I don't know how you live like that.
It is beautiful in the fall. It is gorgeous right now.
I bet.
That's how we live that way.
Now that would make up for it because that's my favorite season. And my parents were just up in New York State for just a little vacation. Like they went up for a little getaway, and they were like, the foliage was just perfect. Like they were up there peak week, and I was just like lucky.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Jealous. Okay, so you wrote a book. Is Andy and the Extroverts, is that your first book?
It is my first published book, yes. There are a bunch of manuscripts that got discarded prior to that.
Sure, that's how that works. I mean, you pick your favorite, right? And you're like, I really like this book. Uh-oh, did I pause it? I hope not. Okay.
No, we got it now.
Okay. I was like, Jennifer, stop touching stuff, but I accidentally minimized the screen, and I was like, I don't know what I've done.
You're good.
Hands off. Okay. Okay, so I read, like I said, I read Andy and the Extroverts just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It wasn't long after we had talked, actually. I read it, and it revolves around summer camp. And I love summer camp. Like, I grew up going to summer camp. I met my husband at a summer camp when we were like 13. And so I was just like, I read it and I was like, I get this. Like, all of those activities, the climbing wall, the trust falls and all that stuff. Like, we had to do all that junk. And I hated every minute of it. I was there for the people. Like, I was there for the social part of it, not the character building part of it. Did not care for that at all. So did you write this book based on your experience with summer camp?
I was privileged growing up to be a part of a very active community that allowed me to fundraise to send myself to summer camp when I was a kid. And so I ended up going to Lake Ann Camp a few times when I was a child. And some of those trust-like type activities do come from some of my experiences at Lake Ann, but I was also a leadership safari student and then a leadership safari guide, so I was a counselor for a leadership camp when I was in college as well, and so some of those activities come from there, and then some of them I just thought would be really horrible for Andy to have to go through, so I made up a camp that would force her to do it. So
bless her heart, because it's called Andy and the Extroverts, so you kind of assume that there's going to be some kind of conflict there with extroverts, and I feel her. I feel her deeply. Oh my gosh, because I don't want to be put on the spot. And she was, and at her camp, she did get put on the spot for good reason. It was a character building exercise and that kind of thing. But at the same time, I thought my heart would palpitate anytime that she got put on the spot. Because I'm like, that would be me. I'd be like, we're done here. We're done.
Days ago with Sean Amick, and I was reading aloud the part where they were like, you need to create like a human tower, and she's like, are you serious? Are you actually serious? Can I like wave a flag on the side of this tower so that I don't have to be inside the tower? And I don't know, her inner snark is what propelled me through writing the novel about her, because I really enjoyed her. So.
I did too. I loved how level-headed and pragmatic she was, but then at the same time, she was still a teenage girl who she had her moments of like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Nope, just not happening. Yep. And I liked the line of romance until I got to the end, and I was like, wait a second. I need to know what happens next, because you left us hanging so hard.
Kind of about that is the fact that I actually wrote Andy and the Extroverts to stand alone, because to me the book, even though it had romance in it, was about Andy. Mm-hmm. And then I wrote the second book also, which is in the end of developmental edits. I swear, Vanessa, I'm almost done. Vanessa. Vanessa's my editor. I'm almost done. I will hand it back to you very soon. So I'm in the end of sort of developmental edits on the second book right now, and that one is also something that can be read kind of as a standalone. So if you're looking for resolution on the Lucas plot, it does exist.
Okay, good.
Second, but you don't have to read the first to read the second, and vice versa. So
I like when that happens, because sometimes I accidentally stumble across an author and I pick up their second, third, fourth book down the line, and I'm like, okay, now I have to go back and learn about these characters that you mentioned, but I really like that I can just pick it up and not feel completely lost. Yeah. Okay, so is the second one also set at camp? Because
It is. It is set at camp the next year when Andy comes back as a counselor. So she comes back as a counselor. She is bringing Eric with her, who is her boyfriend, not expecting that Lucas will be there, because she was told that he basically got like scooped by a college to be on their swim team, and that the conditioning was at the same time. But then she gets there, and there's Lucas.
Listen, my jaw hit the floor. And I was like, what? Like, no. And I didn't know how to feel about it, right? Because I loved him all throughout. And then I was like, oh, but this other guy, cinnamon roll, let's go here. And then I was just like, what?
And so basically the next book is about how can I blow up Andy's summer as a counselor instead of instead of as a camper. That's a mean thing to say, but as authors, that's how we sort of feel. And then make it into a resolution. And this is a duology. I don't have any plans of extending it further, though if people are really excited about the whole camp sphere, in my newsletter right now, I'm writing Susie and Tyler's romance into my newsletter. So
nice. See, and I can handle that too, so keep me connected to your characters and give me a little glimpse about what's going on. I don't need a whole book about it. I just need to know that they're okay, that, let's check in every now and then and be sure everybody's, settling in.
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did the same thing. Like my first 2 books, they go, I feel like it's a good resolution. I left, there it goes again. It's time to put the chickens away. That's the reminder that I just got. It's time to put the chickens away.
Chickens.
Sometimes you just need a reminder. Hey, you've got chickens. Go put them away. That's not true, but it is what that was. But that's what I did. And I left in the epilogue. There's room for, I could start a 3rd book if I really wanted to. But they just haven't told me what to write yet. And so I started a whole different category of books. And I was like, if I come back to you, I come back to you. And there were mad people. There were people that were like, where's book 3? And I'm like, talk to the characters. That's up to them. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard sometimes as like a writer too, because you want to stay in that world as much as you can because it's just so fun there. Especially like, I don't know, summer camp to me is just always so fun, right?
Oh yeah.
But then like at the same time, like there are other things that I'm writing that are coming to the forefront as the revisions to these summer camp books close, and I hope that everybody likes them just as much. So.
Right. Well, and are they still also like young adult contemporary kind of thing? Are they? Yeah.
So the one that we had talked about prior, that is like the mystery, that one actually, like the release date has been pushed out to after Andy in the Summer of Something comes out, just for marketing reasons, and also because same. I thought I would have this like surgery and I'd have all this time to write, and I am just tired.
I don't understand it. Like November was supposed to be I've come off of all of my recordings.
I want to read. And
yes.
You ever get into that like sometimes you're in a writing vibe and sometimes you're just really in a reading vibe, and right now I'm like, what would be better right now is reading. But I don't know if that's just me trying to be like, I don't want to do this because I feel like I have to, or whether that's actually like a real thing. So.
Well, and see, mine's not even like October was go, like recording podcasts 2-3 times a day, just dependent on how the week was going, and editing as I go. And I didn't do any writing. Well, I take that back. I did 1 weekend of writing because I took a little beach vacation and I did a bunch of writing that weekend. And then I came home and I was like, okay, I've got a really good start for November. And November 1st hit and it was like, words didn't happen. There were no words. Words did not exist anymore. Then I was like, I'm going to do NaNoWriMo. That'll be the best motivation to get me to sit in my seat and do the work. And I sat down for like an hour today and I was like, oh, I got 2,000 words. And it was like 748 words. And I was like, what is happening right now?
It's always 700 something. You always think that you've done like a ton, and for some reason it's always in the 700s. Like, I'm like, wow, I wrote like a whole chapter. It's like
a really, really short chapter. It's a very short chapter.
Like a page. Just like 1 page you've written.
It was so bad. And it was like 40 minutes. Like now I took 2 pauses because my kid came in asking for dinner and then there was something else. And so I took 2 pauses, but 40 minutes total. And I should have had more than almost 800, like 750 words. But no. That is not what happened. And I was just like, I felt like I was in the zone too, but I was not. I don't know what zone I was in, but it was not that one. It was not that one.
Right.
Which is wild because I was like, I have a goal. I can meet goals. Not this month.
Are you working on an actual like novel for the NaNoWriMo?
Mm-hmm.
See,
yep.
I think that's where I screwed up. So I was like, I'll just work on the scenes for like my newsletter. You know what I mean? Like that I'm doing of like the Tyler Susie scenes and like their little love, like hate to love relationship type thing. And I'm like, and then I'll work on this side project that has nothing to do with any genre that I write. Oh, that sounds smart. And then we'll work on this other young adult project, which also is not in my genre. do the work that you want to do. And I was like, oh well. So now I've got all these projects, and we're like 10K in, and none of them are doing anything. But that's okay, because I have won NaNoWriMo before, and I've gotten a novel out of NaNoWriMo. In fact, Andy and the Summer of Something was written partially during a NaNoWriMo. So
nice. Well, and and it's funny because my goal, 50,000 words, it's a good, nice goal. I mean, I would really like to finish the book by the end of November, but that's like a little too unrealistic. So it's like 50,000 words. It's a great number. And I'm at 29,000, but I had a head start, right? Because I did start a little bit in October. So I'm not writing all 50 in November. But that being said, the words just kind of sit there and are just like trickling in. And I'm going, what happened to all the words? Where did the words go? I'm not sure what's happening, but it's what it is. Because I have my calendar. I keep looking and I'm like, that's a daily word count here. And they're all just very normal numbers, but I can't hit them to save my life.
Yeah. I think when I'm really in a novel writing zone, like actually very in it and doing nothing else, which is never the case now that I have a book out, right? Because there's always other things that you're doing in the author world now. But prior to being published, if I was really in the zone, I could knock out 1,000 words a day, and that was my norm.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm being pulled a lot of different ways, and so for me, it takes a lot more concentration to be like, no, you're not sitting down to do author things, you're sitting down specifically to draft, and so that takes like more focus.
Yeah, it's a totally different mindset when you sit down to do stuff like that. And the whole, yes, I have books that I haven't even talked about, the books I've already written. And I haven't really talked about the book I have coming out in February. And at the same time, I'm constantly doing something. And I'm going, what do I have to show for what I'm doing? What? So I've got to
talk about the book right now that's coming out in February.
That's true. I could do that. Now is a good time for that. And it's one of those books that I started writing it after my second book, which has nothing to do with this book at all. As soon as that second one went to the editor, I was like, I've got an idea, and I started writing it. And it's called Fall When You're Ready, and it's based on the country song by Brantley Gilbert. Oh my goodness! The chorus says "Fall When You're Ready." And so it's about these two childhood best friends, and they, of course, you have to have the love story. But then he has this dream of being a country music star, and she wants to be an author, and sometimes their dreams don't go hand in hand, right? They conflict with one another a little bit. And so they grow up and they have to make choices, really hard life choices that will either take them down the same path together, or their paths will diverge. And if that happens, then oh my goodness, will they come back together? Who knows? And so anyway, that's kind of that's the long and the short of it. Oh, we lost the connection. Oh, good. Thanks for following. And hey, if you're watching on TikTok, I know you're watching my screen. I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. If you're watching my screen, it's because I can't live stream to TikTok just yet from my streaming platform. So if you want to leave comments or ask questions, log on to my YouTube channel at jcarwrites, just like my TikTok channel. Or it's also on Facebook at jcarwrites. And I think it's on X, but I don't use X that much. And so you are welcome to log on there and ask questions and interact. Definitely on YouTube is the best place, I think, for you to leave comments and questions for me or for Jessica and about our work. And I think she had some internet issues, and so she's reconnecting. And so anyway, thanks for joining us over here on TikTok and watching over my shoulder. I'm looking over my shoulder to see if there are comments or anything that I can, let's see, I've got a moment. Okay. Also, if you would like to share the live on TikTok, that would be amazing. And if you would like things on TikTok, that would also be amazing. I lost her. Okay. So anyway. Oh, she's back. There she is.
Oh my gosh, I am so...
That's okay. Don't even worry about it.
Oh no, you're frozen again.
Of course.
Okay, got you.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
This is, and you know what, live stream, it happens because, and I never know.
Happens.
Yeah, it is what it is. What's really fun is when you're in the middle of an actual podcast interview and your whole Zoom just shuts down and restarts. That makes for really fun and awkward times because then you have to call the person and say, hey, can we re-record? Because all the recordings didn't start back up. And so we just had a conversation for an hour and it didn't record. Yeah, that was a really embarrassing moment.
And that's actually happened to me, not like for a whole hour or anything, but that has happened to me on a podcast already where like we talked for 15, 20 minutes and then we had to re-record the entire thing. And so then like we're just laughing through the whole like first half of it then because we're like, they're like, this is my old pal Jesse. And I'm like, yeah, here I am again.
Never been here before. It's amazing.
Look at it.
Wow.
Right?
That's so great. Well, and what was really bad on that episode was it was a topic. It's Web3 social, which is a technology like blockchain based technology, and it's fascinating. But that's not my world of expertise. And so we recorded on a Saturday. And so my husband joined us because that is right up his alley. He was actually the one who said, hey, you need to talk to this guy. And I said, sure, if you'll be there with me. And so we did the whole thing. And then the second time around, he couldn't take off on the day that we could reschedule. And so I had to do the interview by myself. But I'd already had a dry run. So it was like, hey, I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, I took notes, and so when I say something outlandish, just correct me, and he was like, it's fine, so.
Yeah. I think everybody is really laid back once you, like, get them on, like, a podcast or on a show, or they wouldn't, like, do it in the first place, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty introverted in general when it comes to, like, doing things in public if it's not in front of students, but this feels, like, safe.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the same way. Like when it comes one-on-one in person, I get really awkward, but I've had time to prepare for this conversation. I know you from another conversation. Like we have things in common that I know about, but if we were just to meet in public, I'd be like, like,
yeah.
how's it going?
Like, I go to people's signings a lot. We have like some really cool authors that live in Michigan, and like I'll go see like Stephen Jones Mack, or I'll go see like Lyssa Kay Adams, who writes like the Romance Book Club books or whatever. But then like, do you think I talk to these people as much as I could? Really, like I try. I think actually Stephen and I actually had a conversation last time we were at an event together, but only because it's like the third event we did together this year. But like I'll be like, you signed my book. Thank you. And that's like it. Okay, I don't have any. I try so hard, but my skills are limited. You know, and you think I'd be better as an English teacher and as somebody who's in front of people all the time, but students are just like a very specific vibe.
Yes.
Where I'm mentoring, I'm not like being my own human outside of that. So.
And there's a bit of acting that goes into being a teacher as well. So, you get to put on a different persona if you want to and be kind of a different person than you would be with adults.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. Well, and like teenagers are a whole vibe too, because you mostly just tease them into doing what they're supposed to do. I'm sure there are like teachers out there who are much better than me at everything that I do, but that is how I run my classroom, is that I'll walk up to them and be like, what are you doing right now? Are you playing Fortnite in the middle of my class? That's not what we're doing right now. That's not it. And then the kids are like,
Well,
what are you doing that right now?
I love teenagers. They're so weird. And they're the best. But I will say that I prefer teaching like second, third, and fourth graders because they're still at that age where they want to do things to make you happy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have some really great students, and I'm very privileged to work in the district where I work, where parents are incredibly supportive, and everybody was very supportive of me taking a couple of days off for the surgery. That was nice too. So, I just, I really love working there, and I love being a teacher there. I just, sometimes I still struggle with the balance of like, how do you author and how do you teach and how do you mom and how do you try to be good at all of those things at the same time and still like have a relationship with your husband and do all the things you want to do, So it's just like a continual learning experience. My entire life feels like it has been, but all good things, all exciting things.
Oh yeah, there is definitely a balancing act that you have to find, and I don't know. I've definitely not mastered it, but I know that when I'm doing it well and I'm doing it right, things go really well. And I know when it gets out of balance because things start falling apart and I can feel it, but I don't know what changes, right? Like I don't know if it's me, if it's circumstances, I don't know.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Exactly. Okay, so I have a controversial topic. Are you ready? This is so random and out of nowhere, but I figure since I have you here, I'm going to ask anyway. It's not really that controversial. And actually, my opinion would probably get me in trouble more than anything. Where do we stand on Taylor Swift?
Where do I personally stand on Taylor Swift? I like Taylor Swift. So I enjoy Taylor Swift songs. I don't pretend that I don't. I play it in my classroom. So I didn't know that was controversial. Is that controversial?
It is if you don't love her music. I don't know. I don't. I'm not I'm not a Swiftie, but I am obsessed with her love story. Like I will stalk the heck out of that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I'm all over it. Yep.
I mean, I think that's fair. So I don't follow like celebrity lives very much.
I don't either.
I do think that, at some point in time I'd love to go to a Taylor Swift show. I don't know if I could handle it though. I heard that it like registered on a Richter scale at one point. So like that seems real loud for yours truly, who just wants like fuzzies. Where I'm at in my life, but I do love Taylor Swift, and I like her songs. I think they're fun.
See, I think she's a great lyricist. I think she's a fantastic lyricist, and her lyrics are catchy, and her tunes are boppy. But I've never, since the first song I ever heard her sing, and I was probably in high school ish, college. I don't know. I can't remember when she started singing. But it was a long time ago when her very first album came out, and I was like, who gave this girl a microphone? And that was, that's just how I've always been. But I am intrigued by her as a person. And I'm like, I want to know everything about her because she would make such a fantastic case study for some of my psychology work. That's probably creepy and weird, but it's true.
I mean, that's what we are. We're authors. We're creepy and weird. Don't look at our browser history, right?
Seriously.
Maybe not. Like, mine's not that bad because mine's about like leadership activities. I don't know what your browser is.
This one had to do with there was some intrigue and government secrets were stolen and stuff. So
See, government might be watching you.
They probably are. Listen, when I started doing research for it, like because he works the main male character at the beginning of the book works for the Army cybersecurity forces, and so the things that I Googled probably watch list. just saying.
How many authors are on watch list? What are you gonna do?
Probably all of us. If my FBI agent's watching, hi. Hope you're having a great evening.
Right, like.
Hey George.
Bigger fish to fry than us.
Isn't that the truth? Hopefully, yeah. Okay, what else? Let's see. I'm looking over here. Oh, look, I could invite another author friend to join us. That would be fun. But then she'd be behind my shoulder, and I don't know how to invite her actually here for everybody to see.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll have to figure that out. Actually, and it's Wendy. Wendy and I will be having a conversation next week about her book, and she writes poetry, and she's pretty cool to hang out with too. So,
that's awesome.
I know we could have like a little trio, a little band of authors. So hi, Wendy. And then my husband is watching. That's so nice from the living room. Hi, husband. It's so sweet.
My husband doesn't have any social media. Some people, it was really funny because like we got married. Everyone's like, does he even exist? And I'm like, he does. He doesn't have any patience for any of that. Like, I swear he exists. He exists. But like, does he have patience for any of that social media stuff? No.
Not even a little. Well, and Rob has TikTok for me to send him TikToks, and he has Instagram so I can send him things that I come across, and he has Facebook. Like last night, he opened his phone, and I said, "You have 29 Facebook notifications." He was like, "So?" And I was like, "Can we clear those?" And he was like, "I guess."
It only bothers you.
It only bothers me. I'm like, I need to know who's talking about or to or with. I want to know. But yeah, no, that's funny.
No, my husband had Facebook until we got like engaged, and then he just like got rid of it. He's like, "Well, I don't need it if you have it, because all I look at is Marketplace for like engines that I can redo."
That's a husband thing if I've ever heard one, because mine's like tractor implements. That's all. Yes, Facebook. And okay, when he's on Marketplace, does he buy things and then take you on journeys to places unknown and never before seen, and probably not on maps to purchase set engines and such?
Okay, no. Here's the thing about my husband. He wants to look at all of them, but he doesn't want to actually go to anybody's house. He doesn't want to pick up anything. He doesn't actually want to get those things because he doesn't want to see people. So it's like and he's an interesting man. If he can do it offline, or if they'll drop it off at his house, he'll do it. But he's like, no, I don't go meet people. I don't go see things. I don't go buy things. I don't go anywhere like that. And then I'm like, well, I guess I'm glad that you're not gonna like one day get like shot in the middle of a field, like, because I do feel like that's where we're headed in this Facebook Marketplace craziness. It's feeling very Craigslist lately.
Listen, I'm going to first tell you that you are a very lucky woman. Secondly, I'm going to tell you that Rob A. Carr, that would be my husband, says literally scrolling Marketplace looking at tractor implements right now.
Okay, well, tell him he's probably in good luck, because I'm pretty sure my husband has my phone right now, and that he is looking at redoing like people's four-wheelers and that kind of thing. So they're in good company. He's just not going to go get it. I just know him very well.
Mine will go get it, and it will take you 2 hours to get there, because it is a 1-lane gravel driveway up a mountain, and you will end up in this guy's yard, and he will have dogs that are very friendly dogs, thankfully, and you will be sitting in the car watching it begin to snow in Alabama, because you are on top of a mountain in the winter. Now, it doesn't snow in Alabama until you get to a certain elevation, so we are up there, and I'm pretty sure there were banjos playing in the distance. But anyway, then I'm also married to a very, very social man who will make friends with anybody who sells him a tractor implement. So we were on that mountain for at least an hour. So not only did it take 2 hours to get there, we were on the mountain for an hour in the snow, watching dogs hopefully not attack anybody, and then we drive home 3 hours because we have a tractor implement and have to drive slower. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a whole vibe. But at least then you get to have all these like awesome conversations in the car, right? Like once you're done arguing anyway, right? Like
That's right.
It's like it's quality. Even if it's not quality, maybe it's quantity time together. So.
Oh my gosh. I will never forget the time that we also found our goats on Marketplace and drove out to these people's farm and then drove home with goats in the back seat of the truck.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's where we are.
Hey, there's something to be said for a lot of that stuff, for just like off the grid, for farming, for like making your own food, for growing your own food. My husband and I planted 2 fruit trees this year, and I'm pretty sure we killed one, and that is where we're at. So, because that like apple tree, it was like, it had white stuff on it, and I was like, I don't think that's right.
It's not.
I don't think that's right. My husband's like, yeah, I'll look it up. He looks it up, and he's like, yeah, that tree's probably dying. And I'm like, well, is there anything we can do for it? He's like, not without killing the dogs. And I was like, well, I guess spray some apple cider vinegar on it. It has apples in it. And that is where we landed.
I love it.
So,
oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to pause. Let's see. Nope. That's still Rob Carr, just hanging out with us. Okay. All right, if you're scrolling through TikTok and you want to say hello, YouTube's going to be your best bet to log on and say hello there. Though I will turn and look every now and then to see if anybody has commented or joined us on TikTok. Hopefully. All right. I don't know what's going on. All right. Well, thanks for joining us here. Oh, I lost her again. He's trying to reconnect. Okay. Sorry for the interruption to our live event. Sometimes technology is a booger. Okay. Well, maybe we'll get her back. Well, this has been really fun, and I hope she can come back so that we can say goodnight. But if not, I'm going to, oh, it's inverted. So it says no matter what. And my name is Jennifer Carr, and that is my first book. And the follow-up is The Lost and Found. So if you're looking for some good reading material, I recommend that. And Jessica's book is called Andy and the Extroverts, and it's hilarious. It is a great book. I did read it, and it made me laugh a lot, and cringe and smile. And at the end, I really was just flabbergasted. I was like, what is going to happen next? I don't even know. And so that one is out. And then, like she said, she has her second book is following up, which I need like immediately, but she said till this summer. So I think I can wait just a little bit longer for that book. My next book, Fall When You're Ready, is coming out in February, should be out February 1st. And it, again, childhood lovers, childhood best friends, two lovers. Let me clarify that. I just said that wrong because I was looking at too many things at one time. Childhood best friends, they fall in love, and then life gives them some choices they have to make to, do they follow their dreams, or do they trust love will get them to where they need to be? And sometimes those choices are hard, and you have to make sacrifices to make either dreams come true or love last. And why can't they be the same? I guess you have to read it to find out. So that is Fall When You're Ready, and it comes out in February. And I'm working on its follow-up novel. It's called Wildfire. And it follows two characters that you meet in Fall When You're Ready. And so it goes along the same lines as that one, in the sense that they all end up on the same singing competition, reality show. And in the process, they become friends and all this stuff. Anyway, it's good times. I don't want to give too much away. Also, I haven't finished writing it, so I can't tell you what happens because the characters haven't told me what happens just yet. So anyway, all right. I don't know if Jessica's going to come back or not. I hope she does, so we can say good night. But if she doesn't, that's okay too. I don't guess you need to see my screen though, because I was going to check my email. All right, I'm going to pause this one more time so I can check my email and see if she has emailed me. Oh, look, I can mirror. Okay. Okay, well, for some reason we have lost all connection to our live stream, which is fine. Jessica said to say goodnight to everybody, and so thanks for joining us. I hope that y'all have a fantastic evening. I'm going to hang out over here on the TikTok live for a few minutes. Woo, that's close. And just say thanks for joining us, and I'm hoping to get this worked out a little better for future recordings of our live streams, and you'll have a fantastic rest of your night.